Hello everybody, video here for you today. This is the No Cap recap of The Curse of Oak Island, Season 11, Episode 19, called Hi Ho Silver, March 19th, 2024. If you missed my recaps of previous episodes, there's a link in the upper right. Let's get into it. Previously, on The Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 229 years. In the swamp, Billy is continuing to excavate the recently found wooden structure that could be what Fred Nolan thought was a dam many years ago, but was thought to possibly be a platform continuation of the stone road on last week's show. After this overhead view of the work area, Gary finds some pottery and this barrel stave. They have previously found others, but not this deep. This next shot shows the long-range excavator in the middle of the swamp, so could possibly be from a different day. In the money pit area, Dumas Contracting has brought up more wood they have found from what they think is the floor of the tunnel. Just like last week, there appears to be no walls or ceiling, as though it was dismantled. The current plan is for Dumas to get down to 106 feet and then begin horizontal drilling to find any other voids nearby that they could access via the current tunnel. Near the northern shore of Lot 5, the archaeologists continue hand excavating the buried structure. Last week, Jamie Kuba found this spike there that Laird says is too big to have been used for the size structure that it was. In the lab, Emma says that it is hand wrought and could be as old as the 1100s due to the purity of the iron. Also found in the Lot 5 structure were these coins dated from 1500 to 2000 years ago, as well as the lead barter token, which is an isotopic match for the lead cross, of which the metal came from a Knights Templar mine in southern France. Dr. Spooner arrives at the swamp to take a look at the newly uncovered parts of the structure near the modern road at the south end of the swamp. He says it would have had to been dry in order to build it. He also suggests that Steve Guptill document the edges with GPS coordinates before any further uncovering is done. Researcher John Edwards joins Rick Marty and other members of the team in the war room to share his theory. He believes it's knowledge of Oak Island that has passed down between generations of a small group of people from the Knights Templar to the Rosicrucians to the Freemasons. This idea is given further credence from the numerous structures and artifacts found that are dated from before the birth of Christ to the 1700s, and that every company formed to search for treasure on the island included Freemasons, including future President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. John shares a Masonic ode, which were sang or recited during the ceremonies. Joy, the secret vault is found, full the sunbeam falls within, pointing darkly underground to the treasure we would win. He shows someone being lowered into a vault from an early Masonic text. John has also found these two books published in 1812 and 1763, respectively. One of which includes this page that contains Masonic abbreviations. The underlining was not part of the original publication. The SS would stand for Sanctum Sanctorum, or Holy of Holies, and ME would be Most Excellent, or Most Eminent. And spelled that way with an E, it means of a person famous and respected within a particular sphere or profession, or when concerning a thing, the presence of a positive quality. The page was signed with 137, which is the 33rd prime number and is a reference to Masonry. The books also contain the coded names of Daniel Dyson and John Eason, who were early Nova Scotia Freemasons. One also includes this drawn symbols page, including the Ark of the Covenant. From another book that he doesn't own, he was sent this sketch of Oak Island with the lines on it likely representing the lot lines. The island was divided into lots by Freemason and Surveyor General of Nova Scotia in 1762, 33 years before the discovery of the money pit. Daniel McGinnis was one of the discoverers, and he was also a Freemason. John Edwards thinks he can figure out where it is by using the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is an ancient Hebrew and Christian symbol comprised of 10 points that represent divine morals and principles. It is revered by the Knights Templar, Rosicrucians, and Freemasons. In 2013, Norwegian mason and filmmaker Petter Amundsen presented his theory that the 6 megalithic boulders of Nolan's Cross are actually part of a larger 10-point formation that depicts the Tree of Life. To prove his theory, Petter, Marty, and Alex went to lot 25 and found the Kingdom Stone. It was completely flat on one side. Also, years later, in 2017, members of the team traveled to a Dome, France prison in which the persecuted Templars were kept and saw this carving next to one that matches the lead cross that would be found 2 weeks after that trip. John asked for permission to explore the points of the Tree of Life, and Marty says he can have free reign over the island, and Tom Nolan says absolutely when Marty asks if that's okay with him. Back on lot 5, Jamie finds what she thinks is a gold-plated button. And then this artifact that she thinks is silver. Here's a better view of it, with Craig holding it. Next, there's an overhead view of the swamp structure. Gary finds what he thinks is a very old iron trowel, in the structure of spoils. Then under a large boulder, he finds this big hand-forged iron spike that has wood on it. Jack finds this post that is axe chopped with a piece of iron in it and straight cut on the top. In the lab, Emma confirms the button is gold-plated, specifically a copper alloy with about 3% gold on the surface. She thinks it's a 1700s English military button. The other artifact found by Jamie is about 90% silver. Laird says he doesn't recall finding anything silver in 40 years of archaeology. Rick points out that it would qualify as treasure according to their treasure trove license. Laird thinks it could be a decorative end of a tassel. Rick also mentions that it would be huge if it were a metallurgical match to silver from the Concepcion wreck salvaged by William Phipps. These previous finds on Lot 5 are metallurgical matches for items found on the Phipps estate. Phipps was assisted by Nova Scotian Freemason captain Andrew Belcher on his second salvage trip that resulted in far less treasure than expected being returned to England, leaving theorists to believe it was buried on Oak Island. A sandy concrete found in the Lot 5 structure and in the garden shaft are matches for the same found in the original money pit. Next time on an all-new The Curse of Oak Island Season 11 Episode 20 called Wet and Wild. The synopsis reads as follows. The team has finally reached target depth in the garden shaft, but their drilling efforts may be thwarted by a legendary flood tunnel. You can watch the preview for that episodes and all the other ones as of the date you are watching this in my Oak Island playlist. Link is in the upper right. I'll continue recapping Season 11 late Tuesday nights through the spring, as well as continue to do retro recaps of seasons 6 through 8, seasons 1 through 5, 9, 10, and the aired episodes season 11 are already done and are in my Oak Island playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment.